Starting up. Today I'm reviewing a Beyerdynamic T70p. There's a T70 and a T70p. T70 would be the higher impedance. T70p would be portable, low impedance, 32 ohms, and so on. And I think the standard unit, since this headphone's been out for years, this is just a new one for me, but it's been out for years, and yeah, so it's pretty well known. Velour ear pads, very much around ear, way around ear, extremely comfortable, very lightweight. Metal construction, very well made. I paid $270 off a mass drop, but I think originally they were at least double that. Fixed cord, doesn't come loose. Has a right angle mini plug on it, and I almost guess that first editions of this either came a 1/4 inch or they were screw-on. This isn't even a screw-on adapter, which is good. Anyway, nice short cord, perfect for portable use. The isolation is moderate, leakage is low. The thing about this is wouldn't recommend it for glasses wearers because it really loses bass when you're wearing glasses, and that's a problem if you're in portable mode and you have to have your glasses on. Range of adjustment's really good. I go about halfway through there. The other thing about that fit, although it's very comfortable, it's just doesn't seal as well as the like the DT-1770 or this little on-ear portable, the Custom Street. But anyway, I wanted to compare these three because having this new, not new T70p, it would just make a good illustration of the differences in these three headphones and what kind of choices you might have out there. Like I said, very comfortable, lightweight, fits really, really well. Velour ear pads. Velour's not my favorite because it absorbs sweat and then it can change sound over a long period of time, where the plastic covered ear pads wouldn't tend to do that. Anyway, really nice headphone. Now to the sound. Here is the T70p, and you see we have, now this curve upside down is the sound. Since this is my EQ curve, that's the opposite of what it sounds like. So in other words, there's a pretty substantial emphasis up to as much as 8 decibels in the mid-range around, say, 300 to 600 or even 700 hertz. And what that means is it's going to be very, not forward sounding so much as it is just almost like a big hollow sound to it. And so it might sound like the bass is a little bit weak. I did a minor adjustment over here in the lower treble between 2 and 3 kilohertz. And I did another minor adjustment over here in the upper treble because there's a pretty substantial peak around 9 kilohertz, which is pretty typical for these Beyers. Anyway, it has great extension, so beyond 10 kilohertz you'll hear the frequencies up there because it's got great high frequency extension. And but anyway, with this curve right here, I didn't need to do anything to the deep bass because deep bass is very solid, but it can sound like less than that when you have a big peak in that area right there in the mid-range. So anyway, that's the sound of the T70p. Now, if we go down here to my next headphone, that would be the Custom Street, which I've already done, but it's worth repeating. This is an on-ear, pretty inexpensive, about $150 retail, and I'd say maybe about a fourth of that T70p price, the original retail price. Here we have a plain mini plug, and with a 1-button control on it. And this one is detachable, but I don't need to go into all that because I already viewed it. What I really want to do here was the sound to compare to the T70p. Here, the sound is much more uneven, and we have a fairly large recess around 4. In fact, if you're running tones, you'll hear an actual dropout around 4 kilohertz, and a pretty big peak around 5 kilohertz, and that's what I had to do to EQ that out. So that's pretty significant, and the rest of this, no big deal. But the point is here is that sound's going to be a little rougher through the treble because of that extreme EQ. So it isn't going to have as good a sound as these others. Now, I presume the drivers here are definitely not Tesla like they are in the T70, but that would make some kind of difference in detail. But this little headphone still has pretty good detail, and in spite of having the peak and dip there and everything else, it extends out very well, and you'll hear a hi-fi kind of sound when you first play it, but it's going to be pretty rough. So anyway, there's the Custom Street. Here we have the DT-1770 Pro, $600 headphone that I bought a couple months ago. And comparing that, see if we can find that on here. DT-1770 is, I got a lot of these on here. Here we go. Okay, DT-1770, you see that's very even up. We still have a little bit of that 9 kilohertz peak up here, about 3-4 decibels. Not bad at all. Very good extension on the top. We had a little bit of recess through the lower treble here, around 2 kilohertz and up to about 4 kilohertz. Not much, 3 decibels. And we have a very small emphasis that I pushed down around 350 to about 700 hertz. And other than just perking up the sound a little bit to make it sound a little more natural, it's still a very smooth and even sound. So it's to me, it's definitely the signature tells me it's definitely worth the price, $600. And of course, the build quality is amazing. And I put the plastic ear pads on here instead of the velour. So I don't know how it sounds with velour. I've never tried it. And I replaced the cable on here, and this is something that would be good for this review. This is a detachable cable. Like it came with originally. It was a 10-foot cable with the 3-pin XLR connector, and then I had that replaced with a Cardus. And Cardus cable was $200 for this little 4-footer. And I don't really know if it sounds any better with a Cardus, but I just didn't want to take a chance. I wanted to get a really good cable. So there's my $800 expense with the cable and the headphone. But Cardus is really nice. It's not stiff, but at the same time it's not real floppy either. You can curl this up and put it in your pocket since it's short, and pull the ear cups down and wear it around your neck as a kind of a portable. The thing about portability here with these is that the little one back in the back really is portable when you pull it down around your neck and fold the ear cups flat. You really have real portability there. It doesn't bump your chin, and you can just pull it around your neck, wear it all day like that. And when you're not listening with these other ones, you pull them down your neck, and the cups stay like this, and both of them tend to bump the chin, so they're kind of not the greatest for portability that way. But anyway, there we are. They're all closed headphones. They all have their unique sound signature, but this is mainly about the T70p headphone, which I like, but which I think a lot of people are not going to be satisfied with the signature out of the box. After burn-in, it's going to be pretty boosted up in the lower mids and pretty hollow sounding. One last thing here. These other headphones come with these huge boxes with cutouts in them for the headphone. I wouldn't put that in airline carry-on baggage because it's just too darn big. Same way with the DT-1770 box. This is a stiffer box than that other one, and it has a zipper all the way around it, but it's really enormous. Now with the small headphone, they made it foldable like so, and they provided a really nice little carry case. Now this carry case is kind of thick, almost as thick as those other ones, about 2/3 as much, but it's considerably smaller. I mean, it's about 10 times smaller when you measure the volume of it, so this would be very suitable for carry-on luggage or even backpacks probably. So I like these small Beyerdynamic carry cases, and I encourage them to make all their headphones fold and fit in smaller cases. So anyway, there we go. Thank you very much.